This is breaking news from Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
A sex video, drugs, a gun, and 2 of her students. Those are just some of the accusations leading to charges against a now former Franklin Township teacher.
Our crime beat reporter Steve Jefferson following the developing story. And Steve, have they found the woman yet?
Not yet, Anne Marie and John. I checked the Marion County jail logs just a few minutes ago, and as of right now, she has not been booked in the jail, but we can tell you there is a warrant for her arrest. Teacher Catherine Hagan actually resigned her job here at Franklin Central High School surrounding those charges surrounding the alleged relationship with a 17-year-old male student here at the school. She does live near the school. Investigators say the teenager told them that she had dinner with Catherine Hagan and her husband here at their home, again, not far from the school. That's when she reportedly gave him something for a headache and later revealed it was Xanax. The student also told police he had sex with his teacher at her home on more than one occasion and that they could find evidence of their relationship on her phone in text messages. Court documents show Hagan allegedly sent several text messages knowing her job was at risk, saying, "I could be fired." Another text read, "I could lose my teaching license." And then a text on another day read, "I enjoyed kissing you yesterday." The mother of a teenage boy here at the school is outraged about these allegations.
We talked about it. He didn't know a lot about it, just the rumors that are going around school, but we talked about how inappropriate that kind of behavior is and how whether the kid's 17, 18, it doesn't matter. You know, he's a student at school. She's there to protect him, not to harm him, and that's harmful to me.
Here is part of the school district statement sent to Eyewitness News about how they handled this situation. "We were shocked to learn of these allegations. We immediately contacted law enforcement, and her employment with the district ended the very same day." Court documents also talk about something Catherine Hagan allegedly bought for another student here at the school that put the entire school in danger. I'll have more on that on Facebook and coming up at 11 on the Night Beat. As of right now, John and Anne Marie, Catherine Hagan has not been arrested. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Steve Jefferson reporting live for us tonight.
And in light of this, there's a new report out tonight on the number of sex assaults in our schools. And it's not always the teachers, but fellow students you have to worry about.
In fact, the assaults can start for children as early as 5 years old. We're talking about kindergartners. And in Indiana, your children might be even more vulnerable to this.
Andrea Moorhead here now with the startling numbers you need to know and what you can do as a parent. Andrea?
Well, John, you know, the first thing you really need to know tonight is even with all of the stories, as you just heard, of teachers who are crossing the line with students, your child is 7 times more likely to be sexually assaulted by a peer. And age does not protect them. In fact, take a look at the numbers tonight that we found in the Associated Press investigation. A 5 or 6-year-old right here is more likely to be sexually assaulted by another student than an 18-year-old. In fact, the spike begins at age 11, and it starts decreasing after their freshman year. Unwanted fondling is the main type of assault, but we're also talking about issues like rape. Now, as we told you, school is the second most likely place for your child to be sexually assaulted by another child, and that has to do with supervision. In fact, the places these sexual assaults are taking place are on the bus, in bathrooms, hallways, even locker rooms. But it can also happen in the classroom, too. And we spoke with an expert at Prevent Child Abuse Indiana about that very issue.
A child under the age of 12 has an equal chance of being sexually abused by an older youth as they do by an adult. So it is really best practice to not have little ones and older, more powerful children, you know, unsupervised like that, you know, in locker rooms or buses or camps or whatever the case may be.
And even when teachers are made aware, the investigation also found that oftentimes schools do not react correctly because of concerns of liability.
So there are several things that could occur if it's not reported, or if it's reported and their you know, report is not taken seriously or they're not believed. Those are some big time impacts on kids.
And add to all of this, Indiana is one of 18 states across the country that does not track student sexual assault reports. And here in Indiana, the state does not require school faculty to be trained on preventing, reporting, or even responding to student-on-student sexual assaults. And the main thing here, talk to your children at an early age about what is an appropriate touch, what is not an appropriate touch, and of course, keep those lines of communication open.
I know we've been tracking this all day. How did the State Department of Education respond to this?
Yeah, well, we've reached out to them, and so far, no reaction, no comment, but we'll keep you updated.
All right, Andrea, thank you.
You're welcome.